So I just hit record. And yeah, I'm here at home today. And the main reason I do a Zoom for our classes on Wednesday is to rather than wait till Thursday, which is to get into a little bit what's going on with our classes, what you should know, what's important for the C group that hasn't been here yet on Thursday and Friday, and for anyone that might have been absent on Monday and Tuesday. Okay. Or if someone wasn't absent Monday and Tuesday, they're welcome here too, in case they need a little refresher or what's going on or some tips or something like that. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and bring up the screen for our Google Classroom. Okay. So just going back here a little bit of review here. Some things coming up. Next week, not this week, but next week on Friday the 19th, which will affect C group, we're going to have a half day of school. And as part of that half day, all your classes are meeting in that half day. So your afternoon classes are going to be in the morning, but obviously to fit them all in, they're going to be shorter schedule. So our class will meet at 9:25 to 10:05 on that day. So we'll still have our class meet, just be for probably about half the time of normal. They'll be coming up on the 19th, which is not this Friday, but a week from this Friday. Then the following Friday, which would be 2 weeks from this Friday, about 2 weeks and 2 days from now, we have a day off on that Friday. So on the positive side, you get a longer weekend, but on the negative side, we got one less day in class for the C group. So because I like our class time for a lot of things that we do in this class. So that's coming up. And then there'll be information coming up about parent teacher conferences and that's still being worked out. Okay, go to classwork here. This attendance question thing, some of you may be wondering what's going on with this, Mr. Rio. Two things. Number one, I like to get some feedback on some various things. I'm going to put questions up anyway, which I put up for all my classes. It's not just for this class. So I moved it up here because it's kind of its own category. And the other thing is, not all of you, but many of you are on my list for state attendance, and it's kind of weird this year how they do in the attendance. We're not talking about Harper Creek attendance, like when you come on whatever days you're supposed to be there, but we're talking about the state requirements. We have to go in and do these data reports, and I won't go into all of it, but it's a unique thing we're doing this year because of the hybrid and because of the virtual. So what it comes down to is I have to have at least two contacts with all the students who are on my list every week. And if you're there both days, the days that you're supposed to be in class, that's fine. But even if you are, I still want you to do the question. But if you miss a day, or if you're in my virtual class and you're not there at all, then I need things like this where we're in contact about some stuff. But rather than just do this solely for the attendance kids, because I could have sent it out in a way just for them, I thought, there's some things I'd like to get some feedback and input from my students. This week's question is about, what's your biggest challenge involving online learning? So what I did was, because I did a question like this in the fall of my classes, so I'm just curious to see if anything's much different. I put, what is your biggest challenge or challenges with online learning this year? And if you read the what I put here to explaining it, I put on some of the common things just so you had some idea what other people answered that students have put down in the past. So for some students, a big challenge this year is motivation, trying to find time and motivate yourself to do your work at home. Even the hybrid students have to do work at home. Not all of it's done in class. Internet access. Some students struggle with quality internet access, especially if they live in very rural areas. Some students just have a hard time learning online, even if they try, even if they put in a good faith effort. It's just not their cup of tea. It's just not something that they're comfortable with. And other students have told me, and it includes even occasionally my assignments, but they'll, and other teachers too, that even if teachers are trying to put out good instructions and good assignments, sometimes they're confused on the assignments. Um, so Those are some of them. Now, if you're one of those people who are like, Mr. Rio, I like online learning. I do a great job at it. I'm not having any trouble with motivation. I got great internet. I'm acing my stuff. I'm getting my work done. I have no confusion on the assignments. Put that down. Put down that, no, I don't have problems. Things are going really good. I really like it. It works really good for me. And that can be your answer. So it's short and sweet. And so, I ask that you do that. So I'm going to leave that up in that category up there. So it'll be up in its own little category up here. Okay. Now going down to our week that we're in right now, week 4. First of all, I took 2 of the assignments that were would normally have been due last Friday, and I moved them to being due Monday. So they're in there for last week, but they weren't due till Monday. So you had the extra day. So no one should have an excuse not to be caught up. Okay. So if you're doing what you're supposed to do, you're checking at least Monday through Friday every day, any of the announcements or assignments, working ahead of schedule, doing your best. Contact me with questions or problems. That's great. You stay caught up. Then some things are coming due this week. Well, these are things that we're doing here. So we got the A-roll and B-roll videos. That's due tomorrow. We're going to do that tomorrow in class. I'm going to tell you that right now. So if you haven't done it yet and you're in the C group, feel free to save this here for class. Okay, that's one of the reasons I do this Zoom meeting. Now, if you have done it and we do it in class tomorrow, you can do one of 2 things. You can just simply watch the video again. Won't hurt anything. Or if you have something else you need to work on in my assignments, you can work on that quietly while the rest of us are doing this one here. Okay, so I'll talk about that in class and I'll cover that. And if you were here on Monday and Tuesday, we did that. And if you're in the Monday and Tuesday group and you weren't here, we did that in class. So you'll have to do that on your own. So A-roll and B-roll is really important. It's we're going to use it all the time on a lot of projects. So in short, it's about the A-roll is the video you shoot of people talking. Think of an HCTV segment where we might interview, say, Mr. Greenman or Mr. Anthony or some students or a teacher or a coach, and they're going to talk about, say, the swim season. Okay. Then the B-roll would be the footage you put around that, like people swimming or people diving. And some of it's over them talking, some of it's in between them talking or after them talking. That's the B-roll. So I've got 2 different videos or 3 videos that are all related to A-roll and B-roll. And this assignment you open up here. And one thing that's really important when I grade these, I'm pretty flexible on this. But a lot of times when students go to write a summary, they're like, Mr. Rio, what do I write? Well, start with the obvious. If the video is called A-roll and B-roll explain, start in your first sentence. What is A-roll and B-roll? And then you can give some examples from the video. And if you get really hard up to get up to 4 or 5 sentences and you can't think of anything else to write, look up something on the web or Google A-roll and B-roll and see if there's something else that you might pop up in a definition or an explanation that you can include. So, it should be pretty easy to get at least, if this says 4 or 5 sentences, do at least 4. If you do 2 sentences, even if they're good sentences, I'm not going to give you full credit. I'm going to be like, you didn't even attempt to do the 4 or 5 sentences. Because it's easy to do 4 or 5 sentences. You just put up some more examples. Okay. Now some of these are a little different format for each video, depending because their videos are set up a little bit different. This one has a little summarize the video first, a short summary, just a few sentences. But then they talked about these 3 key tips about shooting good quality B-roll. So then you want to make sure you include those 3 tips under here and so forth. Okay, so on these type of assignments, you do them, follow the criteria, do a good job, and then you submit them on time. Okay. Now, the good audio for video, we probably won't get to in class, but it's all pretty easy to do. The only thing I might do in class is talk about the HCTV. You might say, what's HCTV doing in there, Mr. Rio? Well, 2 of them are videos about getting good quality audio. Some of these videos I've been finding, they're pretty interesting and well done. they focus on being a YouTuber. There's a lot of people becoming YouTubers. So yeah, the video might focus on, hey, if you're a YouTuber, what's some good microphones you could use or something like that. But the fundamentals are the same, whether you're technically a YouTuber or you're just making video for whatever reason. The fundamentals are the same. Okay. So if you're looking to make quality video, the video I share with you might be focusing on someone who wants to be a YouTuber or is a YouTuber, but they're just making videos. That's really all it is. So it's and a lot of these are really fun and interesting videos, and that's a big topic right now in the video production world. So yeah, I look through a lot of videos. I spend a lot of time trying to find good ones for you guys and get a little variety. So I'm not sharing just the same people all the time. So I try to get a mix of people doing these things. I brought up HCTV, which I will talk about in class tomorrow. If you haven't seen it, make sure you watch it and then think about the audio in it. And I'll just tell you up front, some of the audio in it is very good and some of the audio in it's not very good. And then you have to, there's one little part of this assignment you're supposed to write a little bit about that. And it'll be pretty obvious. We'll discuss that in class, but feel free to, if you're working ahead, to take a look at that. We'll be starting a new iMovie project, and this will be a work in progress in class. So we're going to make an iMovie about iMovie. We're going to be learning about different features in iMovie. We're going to make different sections, learn about green screen and picture and titles and clip effects and transitions and things like that. So we're going to be doing a project. It's going to happen over probably 2 weeks. So we'll be doing that in class on Thursday and Friday, and we'll not finish it. Now, the first video, some of the C group people may not have completely exported it or submitted it yet. So I'll give you a little time tomorrow, beginning of class, to finish that up if you need to. And if you've been absent and you fell behind for the iMovies, where you pretty much got to be at school to do it, if you can't get caught up during class time, you're welcome to come in some other time. And after school or on another day or something, just arrange with me and you can come in and get caught up if need be. Okay, so that's what's going on with the iMovie project. And I'm also going to be talking about workflow, but I'll discuss that in class, what that means and why we're focusing on that right now. And then the last one here is we have a test. We have a test Friday. And I was a little bit debating whether or not I want to use class time for the test, for the simple fact that, we don't get a lot of class time and we don't want to do video. But I think I will, because it won't take that long. You can use your notes, so it's more like an assignment. But then if I use class time, then, we'll keep it to maybe about 35, 40 minutes. And if people don't need that long, they can, work on other stuff. And that should be enough for do that, especially since you can use your notes. If you're not in class on Friday, if you're watching this and you're from the H group, then I'll be posting the link under this assignment. It's not there right now, but it will be there on Friday. It's going to be a Google Forms test. So when you finish it, you'll finish it as a Google form, and that'll submit it to me to grade. There won't be anything submitted here. It's not something you turn in like a normal assignment. I did set it up like an assignment, but don't panic if you have nothing turned in there, because that's not where I'm looking to check your Google form test. I do that through Google Forms because I'm the one that sets it up. So we'll be doing this on Friday. So if you're in class, I'll give you class time to do it. We'll use about half of the block. And if you're not in class, then do that sometime Friday. I typically leave it posted up until about Saturday morning with that. Now, with all the due dates, I've been getting questions. Mr. Rio, what about stuff that's late? What about this? Do you take late work? What if I forget? Whatever. First of all, everyone should be checking every day and working ahead of schedule and disciplining themselves to the point that they get their work done, they do quality, and they get it done on time. And if you're in the C group, you're checking on Monday morning, what do I got to do this week? You're not waiting until Thursday. At worst, even if you start Wednesday, at least you're getting some of it done on Wednesday. As far as late work, if you're in touch with me, Say, Mr. Rio, I'm not feeling good this week. Mr. Rio, my family had to go out of town for a couple of days, whatever it may be. Just be honest. And if you're having a lazy week, say, Mr. Rio, I just been kind of down this week. I've been a bit lazy. I'm falling a little behind. Just be honest and touch base with me. In most cases, if you just need that extra day or two on the weekend or something like that, it's usually not a problem. But I much prefer you touch base with me rather than just turn in late. Having said that, should Saturday roll around, you realize you forgot to do something. I'll just be honest with you. I almost never do grading on Saturday for stuff that's due Friday. Okay. I usually don't get to it till Sunday. And sometimes later, but oftentimes Sunday is a day I'll grade stuff that was due Friday. So if you're still turning it in Saturday and it was due Friday, or if it was due Thursday, you don't get to it till Friday or Saturday, probably not a big deal. Probably I'm not even going to notice because I'll be probably not getting to it till Sunday. If there's any other problems beyond that, just be in touch with me. If you're not sure about something, you got some extenuating circumstance coming up that's gets in the way of getting your work done, just be in touch with me. And do I accept late work? Yes. Does it get full credit? Maybe. Okay. The more you're in touch with me, the more you're not taking advantage of the situation, the more you're doing quality work, the more you're not too late, trying to get in with, fairly quickly after a due date, the more likely you're going to get the full credit. And the more it's late and the more you're not in touch with me and the more you don't seem to care, the more I'm going to say, well, I guess I don't care either. I'll just mark you down. If it's worth 40 points, I'll give you 30 or something, even if you met all the criteria. So I'm not going to do that as a first step, but just make sure you're on my good side as far as doing a good faith effort, keeping in touch, being honest. And it's not that hard. It should be interesting too. I mean, to me, this is pretty interesting stuff. So that's pretty much it where we're at right now. So I don't know if anybody's got any questions. You can unmute yourself and ask or just put it in the chat. If not, that's it. Today is pretty much just to give you guys an update and what's going on. And like I said, we'll be editing video the next 2 days. If you're in C group, you have some time for the test on Friday. And then tomorrow we'll try to do at least part of the, we're going to try to do the A-roll, B-roll assignment tomorrow in class. And we might watch HCTV and talk briefly about that too, which would be part of the audio assignment. So that's the plan this week. Any questions? Everybody still there?
I don't have any questions.
You don't have any questions? Okay. Have a great day. If you want to work ahead, probably the audio one would be the best one to do right now. If you're behind in anything that was due from last week, do two things: get it done and get it submitted, and shoot me an email and give me a head, say, whatever the reason. If the reason was, sorry, Mr. Rio, I was lazy, I didn't get it done, then I'd rather have you be honest than lie about it. Okay. So if you got questions, another thing with grading, once in a while, there'll be something I grade and you don't get all your points. You don't have to give up immediately and say, well, I guess I got 30 out of 40 and I don't know why, but I'll just leave it at that. Feel free to contact me. Sometimes I give feedback to you and I'll say, you forgot to do this or you're missing that and that. And if you do fix it or resubmit it, send me an email or a text and say, Mr. Rio, I resubmitted this, I fixed this. Some of you have done that already, because then I'll make a good faith effort to go back and grade. I don't just go back looking to see if someone did it if it's old, because over time I end up having literally thousands of slots of previous assignments in all my classes. So I may not just go find it randomly. So make sure you're in touch with me. Okay. Have a good day. Take care. See the C group people tomorrow. Okay.